time. It's time. Welcome to another Jarrett Wars. I want to give a warning to some people, people that watch this channel, and people that have seen this character by the name of 2Liter J. This guy has been doing stuff to me for about a year now, and the whole time I've been ignoring it. I've been not paying it no mind. I've been yada yada yada. So I know I'm going to open Pandora's box, but I shouldn't be afraid to respond to what's been going on and standing up against it because of what somebody else is going to do worse or crafty or whatever, which this person has took it upon himself. For one, has made accounts with pictures of what I look like that was based on a person that took a picture through the inside of my house when I was looking through the inside of my house to see if there are any packages outside. Now, I want to make it clear it's not Jay that took the picture, it was some person. But Jay had a hold of the picture, had an idea of making an account of me, because around 2017 or 18, he came to know about Jarrett Genesis when Jarrett came to his channel. Jarrett came to his channel without knowing 2Liter J whatsoever, because he liked some of the things that Jay was saying about believing in God or something to do with God. Shortly after their small conversations, Chris the 30-year-old boomer and others were telling 2Liter J that Jarrett was not a good person to talk to, and that if you are talking to a person that I quote from these people, you know, you'll be considered someone that's on his side if you continue to engage conversations with a person that is making threats to women, doing stuff, disgusting stuff behind the scenes. Behind the scenes, they were referring to Jarrett. So 2Liter J eventually was playing this friends game with Jarrett by deceiving him, trolling him, tricked him into stuff, told him stories that wasn't true about random things, which I have saved on my hard drive. 2Liter J had then discovered me, and I only exchanged stuff with him just out of asking him about how he got into this Jarrett thing in the first place. Shortly after that, I started getting accounts on YouTube with my picture on it. I've been alarmed who in the world could do this. At first I thought it was one of the people from the Gorgeous George Club, which is the trolls that troll George. Then I realized that after hearing from 2Liter J and the patterns that he was doing as far as contacting me, this guy would email me on my last email address that I've had on Google that I don't have no more. He would also spam me in the chats and this video. Like if I do any live stream, he would spam me. He would harass me pretty much day and night. So I had ignored him for a while. And then eventually I began to figure out it was Jay that created these accounts regarding myself, based on some of the mannerisms and sensing some of it. I learned this not from people, but from my own self. I also learned that 2Liter J somehow has this obsession with me. He's the one that's been harassing me, that has made multiple accounts in the past that I had fought with YouTube against, and they were closed. He has been, within the last 2 or 3 months, the last couple of months now, had this account called A War Against Jarrett Wars. Of course, he changed it back and forth, exposing Jarrett Wars. And for months, a couple months, he's been making stories that I've emailed him about stuff that I want to start a cult and stuff like that, and making false. For an example, I'm going to show you Exhibit A as an example of what I'm talking about. Now, if you don't believe me, I don't care. I'm just letting you know what kind of people I have to deal with on this channel, Jared Wars, and why that I feel like this is a job that I'm not getting paid for as far as money. This guy, if he was honest, he would have showed the email address and everything. Because, and I don't even know 2 Liter J's email address. I don't contact him. I never bothered him on Google or Messenger ever. He would make up stories deliberately saying that I contacted him about stupid stuff. And this is something that, he somehow, he copied off the way I type, because I do speech notes and I type a lot, and my typing is not as good, and this guy somehow copied off of me by just putting this stuff on here. And this is not stuff I say to people. Reading this for an example: I've heard you say you're Mexican too. I like tacos, Pastor. First of all, I never even called this, I never addressed it this person ever in my life. No, pastor. I couldn't give a fuck if this guy's a pastor or not. I will never address you as pastor, and I never did address you as no pastor 2 Liter J. If I am doing it, it's because of what you put on your channel. But I never called you Pastor 2 Liter J. I never emailed you. In fact, you came on my channel. This guy came on my channel and put his email address in the chat box for me to contact him. And I had to block him several times. And he would make other accounts and generate them. And then I block him. And then he'll make another account, generate, and then I block him. So I got to the place where it's like I can't even fucking do what I want to do on the internet no more, because I feel like I'm being cornered by this idiot. I tried for about a couple months now not to let this guy got to me. The closest thing I had to do was take a vacation off of this channel for about a week, or say a little about 10 days. It was because of the excess stress and the way the YouTube customer support system is. YouTube has failed to do anything regarding 2 Liter J and his channels relating to myself. A lot of times, I know that 90% of you are friends of 2 Liter J, and I know 90% of you are going to support the things he does. People like Dark Summer, Stu Dog, and others, and people that I've just named. I can't come up with all the names, but I know 90% of you do. But I want to ask you this: if you listen to Hatman's video about what happens if your child went through the same thing, then what happens if someone else that you know go through the same thing, or you go through the same thing? Are you going to find half of the shit that this guy Jay's doing funny then? I asked you to monthly 2020, who actually is dumb enough to believe counterfeit emails? What happens if someone did the same thing about you? Are you gonna find that funny, or are you just gonna sit there and hypocrite yourself over and over again? I don't think this kind of shit is funny. No way, no how, whatsoever. I haven't really spoke up about this, but I don't contact 2 Liter J. He's not my type of person, and I never did care for the guy. I never did care too much for him. I just didn't. It had nothing to do with how old he was. I couldn't give a fuck how old he was. He's just not my forte. And for some reason, what's supposed to be about Jared ends up being corruption about someone that has not a damn thing to do with anything. Take an example here. He says Jared Wars sent me many emails, and that's not true. I never sent you emails before. I don't even know your email address. No, I'm interested in the only time this guy gave me his email address is when he spammed me, and the only thing I did is I took a snapshot of it and then I blocked that person and removed the messages. I had never contacted 2 Liter J with all this shit that he put on here. Now there is video too. It's just all in the description below. But I'm going to go on here just for the fucking hell of it. Because I can't click on something that I already added to the description. Ain't that a bitch? And click on here. Now he's making up stories saying that I want to start a cult. And then he did a video. He did a follow-up video with his self on the camera, with this little persona of a dark ninja character that he tried to portray, saying that I want to start a cult and that I want to use him as a sacrifice. And I said, what in the fuck is this guy trying to do, or what he's trying to say? Dude, and you know, many people have believed what this guy has said, and here's the thing. Reading from this guy, you can see, surprisingly, Jeremy wants to, or is starting some kind of a cult. First of all, that's not true. 2, even if I wanted to start a cult, it has sure not a damn thing to do with you. I'm speaking hypothetically, because I'm not a cult person. I don't even know nothing about the occult. The most I know of is these 2 videos I watched. One was the Church of Satan 666, which I played for fun because Muttley 2020 was listening to this idiot and everything he does. In fact, he's friends with him because, you know, Muttley is a lonely person in a way that he demands that kind of attention. And so, on the cost of someone else's expense, he'll be friends with anyone that is friendly to him, even at someone else's expense, which is actually the cowardly way of seeking friends in the first place. Now, I want you to look at the demeanor of these emails here, and it is insane that, look at this shit. I never even put this stuff on here. Now look at this. It says here, well, in terms of Jesus freaks, I am not. That Charles Manson is Jesus Christ. I have never said anything about Charles Manson, and I mean literally. I never literally said that Charles Manson is Jesus Christ. And and so he's putting this shit out here, and he's been doing it for months. There's other stuff he does. He has this channel called Your Favorite Albino Mexican, exposing Jared Wars, Your Favorite Albino Mexican. He has another channel, which is this channel here, which he claims this is someone else, but I felt it was him the whole time. Then another channel called The Cult of Jared Wars. This person has been harassing me. His only intentions of doing all this is because of what he doesn't like of my content on the internet, and what most people have gathered from the content that they've seen on Jared Wars is between either nonsense or someone that's stupid that doesn't have a rhythm, a rhyme, or a leg to stand on, or there are some people that generally have an opinion that say we don't know what Jared Wars really stands for or what he's really about, because the way he makes his videos with the black screen. That's basically what I've had to deal with. YouTube has the worst customer service that you can ever deal with. I had reported this. If I had money, I would sue YouTube for this, because none of this stuff should be happening. And what I want for a settlement is for YouTube to change their policy where people like this will not be allowed to do things, the stuff the people that the stuff that he's been doing to other people will not be allowed whatsoever. That's what I would want. I don't want no money from YouTube. God damn it, I don't want no money. I don't have no money to sue YouTube, nor I have the powers to do anything about YouTube. I've been trying to do something about 2Liter J for a couple months, and it hasn't worked. As far as contacting YouTube and YouTube's customer support and YouTube guidelines, they ignore it completely. YouTube's customer support, they ignored it completely. If some of you think it's fun and games of what this guy is doing, if it happened to your daughter, if it happened to your son, if it happened to you, would you look at it the same way? Because I guarantee you it is not the same. And what the funny thing I noticed of Monthly 2020, which I'm giving you a hypothetical example, sir, not out of insult, is when you did a slow-mo video of me, of course that didn't bother me, but when I did the same thing with you out of my own studies, you got insulted really fast. Now, this is my point. If the same stuff that you see that other people are doing, if it happened to you, would you be laughing then? You see, here's the problem. I talked about character prejudice before, and I made it very clear that 90% of these people that don't like this channel for whatever reason, which some I don't even figure out my own goddamn self, are prejudiced. And so if they don't like a person, they'll use anything they can to try to, laugh or anything they can to try to, out of all means, to do the things that they want to do against that person. What if it's someone that's doing things against that person, and they'll subscribe to them and be friends with them. The old saying goes, misery loves company. That's the old saying goes. And this guy is making up stories about me. This guy is sitting there and he makes an account, basically just using my picture. Now his videos I don't have an issue of, but he's using my name as far as the picture of what I look like, and then other things to bully me off the internet. I took several snapshots where he says if I quit Jarrett Wars that all this will be over, which I know it's a lie. He had lied many times to Jarrett. I seen him trolling Jarrett and lying to Jarrett and playing back and forth games to Jarrett. He lied, and that's why I didn't take him seriously. Closing Jarrett Wars out will be like compromising with the devil, because that's what this guy has, the devil. He is not a pastor by any means. Sir, if you were a pastor, you would not be doing this stuff to other people. However, you could say the same that I had put occultic stuff on the internet. I did it just to make fun of idiots that listen to you, because you had put this crazy stuff out about me, and seeing people like Monthly 2020 eating it up and other motherfuckers, I had no choice but to make fun of a bad situation so I can keep myself from not getting upset. Boy, was I wrong when I stirred up the pot. However, there's folks such as Stew Dog. You people are prejudiced against me. You bitch and whine about something I made a mistake on, and yes, I was sorry about that. But what about these people? How come that you're not criticizing what Jay is doing? Hypocrites. You see, here's the thing. Character prejudice is just as what I've said. And, I was scared to point out names of the people, but I realize now that since these people are themselves ain't no better, I need not to be afraid of them. So I want to visit this exposing your favorite albino Mexican character, and I want to show you exactly what he does. It's just stupid stuff, and I want to show the two individuals that comment frequently on here. They love this guy's channel. Look at this. Reading for Dark Summer. Oh my. I'm a lesbian now. Good to know. This, and he hides his responses or accept someone else's. It says here, but I thought we were getting married. This woman is making fun of what somebody is doing, and that is basically, I would say, stalking. I mean, you go everywhere I go on my channel. You watch my channel every time I hit the play button. You're the first person that watches it. You spam my comments. You deliberately pull tricks like using your accounts to subscribe and unsubscribe from my channel just to alert me that you're watching me. You do everything you can. And Monthly 2020, you're such a fool for believing, such a fool for taking up for this guy. And it is interesting that this character, and Dark Summer, along with these other people like Miss Whiplash, and I have to tell the truth because it is the truth. As hard as it is to be honest with, as easy it is to be honest with myself and the things around me, dealing with people is the hardest thing. When I've used Dark Summer as an example, I had nothing personal against her, but she wanted to make it look like as though I did, but I didn't. I don't give a fuck what you really think. I'm just pointing out the obvious. And if that means in your definition that I have something against you, then you're just as dumb as a retard. No offense. Some of the Gorgeous George people have also visit this channel too, but I want to also go to another guy named Stu Dog and find his stuff on here. I'm not holding nothing back. I mean, I'm serious. I think it's better to be honest with the things around you. Another person I want to point for an example. Let me see something here. Shut up. I don't have the mood for that. Right here is Chris the 30-year-old boomer. He is in lead with this 2-liter J and the stuff he's doing. Remember I talked about Alistar and Christian Thurston would visit my channel once in a while. And I did a video about him not long ago. And I talked about how I had to block Christian Thurston because he was not someone that was stable. Out of all that shit he gone through, he's condoning what this idiot does. Now, just in case somebody want to put a spin and twist, this is from your favorite albino Mexican. And I know this is your favorite albino fucking Mexican. And it's amazing. Motley 2020, you're just as much of a fool and just as much of a baddie. Which I don't use these terms goody or baddie, but just in your in your logic, you're just as much of a baddie. It's not a form of disagreement and agreement. There's no gray matter in this. You either you either choose the good side or the bad side, and you're on the bad side. Not because of me, but because of the truth. Now, none of you people are no better than one another. The only people that you defend is regarding folks that will do the same thing to me as Jay is doing is if it's someone that is close to you. You guys are so character prejudiced. It's not even funny. You have no excuse to say anything to me. And some of you that have response to me, I don't want to hear anything of it. I'm going to allow comments, yes. But it'll just give me an avenue of what people not to allow on my channel. That's all I'm going to say. Because anybody that condones this kind of shit is not allowed on my channel. And, I had to break from these people. My mother was telling me that these people are not your friends, which I knew that, but she thinks that I think that these people are my friends because whatever. Now, I want to give another example. Look at Motley 2020. Now, you can't say I'm slandering you because I'm not. I'm showing everything that I'm speaking of through these evidence. I don't even like calling this evidence, but I'm using your term because I think your filter and your brain is different than most. It says, this made me laugh so hard. Yeah, everything this guy does make you laugh so hard. In fact, if you visit this guy's channel, Monthly 2020, and I kid you not, this is what he deems the funniest videos on YouTube, not for me. This guy, 2 Liter J, and some of the videos, everything. So you're just as much of a baddie as some of the people that have done stuff on your channel, like Daniel Minecraft. Remember, I showed videos where this guy talked about people thumbing his videos down and whining. You ain't got a leg to stand on. You see, shit. This has nothing to do with anybody liking me or not. This is principle, and this is just strictly principle. No bias whatsoever. But you guys are character bias. And most of everything that Monthly does as far as the video response to me, I pay little or no mind. The most I do is I'm creating a playlist to save to try to help this guy. Not because of what this idiot Jay has influence on this person. No. It's because that I sense some problems that Monthly has. And I'm going off this subject, I know. But I'm just telling you what my position on him is. And I felt that is my job. My job as Jared Ward is to help people. And that's what I'm going to do. I did. Even if I win and even if I lose. And so here's other examples that, like I said, it is insane what I've had to go through. And it's crazy. I'm trying to find out here. I saw Stu Dog on this channel, and I had mentioned his name several times, so that's the reason why I want to show it. Okay, I found it. This is good enough. I found Stu. And Stu, you're watching my channel, and you pretend like you're this good, whatever, Hey Arnold kind of character, while everybody else is doing their own fucking thing. But you yourself, friend, if you compromise that and take counsel over these people, you made some points to me the other day, and I agree with you. But isn't that the pot, the kettle black, when you are yourself endorsing this guy in a way that you're commenting on his videos, and you find what this guy does is funny, when all intents and purposes, but the thing that he's doing is that he wants me off the internet because he thinks my videos suck. That's not a reason to bully someone off the internet. That's not a reason to call someone off the internet. That's not reason. And then, you know what, Jay is such a coward, he'll make up stories and say that I'm a pedophile defender, which you yourself even seen a great deal of this channel and reviewed it, which I'll put those videos down in my description. You yourself say that this has not a damn thing to do with anything. You yourself say you couldn't figure out what Jared Wars is about. So, I'm not holding back anything. I don't care what any responses I'm going to get at this point. I mean, some comments, like some videos, if I feel that I get some kind of issue regarding Jay, or get people commenting, I'm just going to continue what I'm going to do, because regardless, I'm not going to accept this as it is, even if I win and even if I lose. And I'll go as far as to say, even if I have to die for what I believe. I just got through not long ago staying firm with the truth. And that's what I stand for as far as my mind and my being. So, I mean, it's not a competition. There is no war. As 2 Liter J says, there's a war going on. Yeah, it's a war against good and evil. The demons that are in you that's doing the stuff that you're doing is the war that we're talking about, man. Not the war that you're talking about. And so, I'm going to go. And I'm going to just keep people in mind that, look, I don't, whatever you think, it's fine. But I'm pointing out the truth. And For about over a week, I was afraid because of this dark summer bitch. And excuse my language, I'm sorry, but it makes me angry when people try to bully you and stuff and then try to make something more than what it is. Because, and I'm sorry for saying the B word, but it's just that this woman had created confusion by saying that I want to attack her or something, when there wasn't even nothing about that. Only thing I was pointing out is the stuff that I've been saying within the last 30 minutes has not a damn thing to do with no individuals personally. I don't even listen, I don't even hate nobody. And, I'm just pointing out the truth and the obvious. And if that makes any of you think whatever obsession, whatever, because I talked about, I think, 2 or 3 other people. It was Stu, it was Motley 2020, and then I mentioned the name Whiplash, Miss Whiplash, who says that 2 Liter J is not doing nothing wrong that she believes. Well, maybe because you're so used to what you're used to for a while, and that's it. I'm not even going to argue with you about it. I'm just going to block you as far as I'm concerned, and anybody else that has the same ignorance and stupidity. I'd be better alone than to be better and dazed. And, so, I do videos, and I speak what I mean, and I say what I mean. I'm polite to everybody. I treat people with the respect that I want to be treated as far as my responses to them. But I felt that I have to say something because this stuff is going on long enough. And if anybody wants to know information of Jarrett Wars, I haven't watched Stu's number 2 video yet. I never did, but I downloaded it and saved it on an external hard drive. Ain't that a bitch? I'm sitting there, it's at best, and I've had these things on here, and I never watched his part 2 video about me, Stu. Stu Dog. So, I'm gonna put those in the link description below. These are people that are considered Stu Dog. He considers me somebody of a scam spam watchdog or Jarrett Defender. I don't know. There's nothing to do with Jarrett Defender. So video 1 of Stu's video we'll be putting on here. Listen, if something is the truth, you have nothing to be ashamed of. And the only responsibility I got to deal with is that, yes, this is my problem here. And, this is my problem. And that's 1. And 2, I have to deal with this by myself and on my own. Because, obviously, it's not no one else's problem. And, that's the only responsibility I'm going to take for this shit. I mean, seriously. There's no reason why that my channel should have to go through this crap at all. And it is insane. And what if Hatman thinks that this is right or wrong? It doesn't matter. I have to speak the truth, man. I can't hold back. I'd be hypocriting myself if I hold back. And it's just like, I can't sit there and do this, dude. I can't, sit there and put up with this either. You had your feelings about your social media experience. I'm sharing my feelings about my social media experience. And let me just tell you something, folks. I ain't doing it for pity. I'm doing it to share for the masses the education. And this channel was not for the masses necessarily. It's for those that have enough common sense to understand, so they can pass on to their children, or children watching can find out what to do and not to do. Let's see, parts 1 and 2 about me. And for those that keep contacting these people out of gossip and instigating trouble and allowing people like Jay to do what he's doing, you're just as bad. Folks like Stu, other folks that contact these other people. Jared Wars did a video on you. It's important. You got to see it. And then you look at the entertainment of it, when really there's nothing entertaining about somebody that's bullying someone on the internet. And I'm not trying to play the victim. It is the truth. If you think I'm playing the victim, you're just as bad as a pedophile. I think anybody that would make an excuse for the stuff that's going on is just as bad as a pedophile. And I will arguably say, since the term pedophile defender is brought up, I say just as bad as a pedophile defender. That's all I'm going to say about that. I'm going to go. And folks that are listening and watching, thank you. It's been a pleasure trying to get this resolved. I don't know when I'm going to ever do it. Even if I have to kill myself to get this done, I'll do it. But I'm still going to do what I'm going to do as far as Jared Wars regardless. But I'm not going to allow myself to be dragged any kind of way. Yes, it's normal for me to go through persecution because the job I'm doing is an unusual job. But yes, I have to do it. You know, it is for what it is. I need to change the thing real quick. Let's see. Jay's false emails about me. Let's see. Cheerleader Jay's false emails about me. And Stu Dog's videos regarding what Jared Wars is about. I should put this on here. Let's see. Stu Dog's videos regarding what Jared Wars is really about. Period. And it spelled the word stew wrong, so I'm going to fix that manually by hand, of course. Stew Dog is a thing that stands for Snoop Dogg, so there we go. And right now, what I'm going to do here is, now, how in the world somebody's watching this video and that is in private mode? It's private. Private means that nobody watches this video. So whoever is on here, and they just left, whoever is on here, they shouldn't be on here because it's a private video. So I got to figure out what the hell's going on there. But I'm going to get going, folks. Thank you for watching. It's been a pleasure. Welcome to another exciting episode of Jared Wars. I'll see y'all the TGD MFL. Goddamn motherfucking later.